Welcome to my channel. I'm Cimatoribus and I'm going to guide you through half an hour more or less of a feel-good Vinyasa flow. It's going to be focused around opening our heart, releasing unnecessary tension, and just feel good. So whenever you're ready, come down in a seated position. You can bring blocks or cushion underneath your sittiness to give yourself a little bit more support. Resting the hands gently on top of your knees, on top of your thighs. Find that long spine, crown of the head reaching to the sky, softening the shoulders down. And close your eyes. Arriving here into this moment. Arriving on the mat. Arriving into your body. And starting to connect with your breath. Allowing it to become deeper. As you're bringing it all the way down towards your belly. Up into the chest. All the way to the top. And exhale to gently release. And again, deep breath in through the nose. Into the belly, into the chest. All the way to the top. And gently let go. Well, let's take one more of these. Big breath in. All the way to the top again. And gently release. Start finding your natural rhythm now. Noticing that rising and falling sensation happening into the body. And checking in with yourself. Noticing if there are any areas of tension, of discomfort. Any areas where there's resistance, perhaps. Reminding yourself you're here just to observe without bringing any judgment, without having any criticism or too many expectations. Noticing where your mind is at. If you're running through to-do lists, or if you're overwhelmed perhaps with worries, frustrations, anger. Recognize what's going on and see if you can shift more and more the focus to your breath, into the present moment. We're going to take a big breath in. And big exhale out. And gently blinking the eyes open. With your inhale, we're going to reach the arms up towards the sky. And exhale, we're going to drop the left hand down to the ground. Right arm reaches all the way above your head. Keeping the chest open and even looking up to the sky if it feels good for the neck. And you can stay onto your hand, onto your fingers. If there's a little bit more space, you can find a little bit more depth. Walking the hand a little bit more further forward, or even coming down onto your forearm. But make sure that the opposite side, the opposite sitting is grounded onto the mat, so we can keep that deep side body stretch here. Breathing into that sense of expansion. And then releasing the right hand on top of the left knee and the left hand just behind you. Inhale to reach tall, find that long spine. And exhale to twist towards the back. Softening the shoulders, keeping the chest open, and making sure you can still fully breathe in. So if you notice your breath becoming shallow, then twist a little bit less, bring a little bit more softness. And then gently release the twist. Coming back through center. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale to drop the right hand down, left arm all the way above your head. And as before, maybe you're looking up to the sky. Taking a few deep breaths here into that space that you're bringing into the body. Maybe finding a bit more depth. Just if it feels good. No need to force your body. And then allow the left hand to come down on top of your right knee. And the right hand just behind you. Inhale, lift tall. And exhale to find your twist. Bringing movement through the spine. Releasing any unnecessary tension from your lower back. Making sure your shoulders are softening down away from the ears. Keeping space into the neck. And then gently release the twist. Coming once again back through center. Now, we're gonna keep resting the hands on top of the knees, and we're gonna inhale to reach the chest forward. Opening the heart, maybe even opening the throat if it feels good. Exhale, bring the chin towards the chest and round as much as you can the spine towards the back. And again, inhale, reaching forward, opening the front of the torso. Exhale, moving back, rounding the spine, creating space between each vertebra. One more time like this. Inhale to open up towards the front. Exhale to round back. With your next inhale, you're still reaching towards the front, but this time you're moving your arms as well, opening them into a cactus shape towards the sides, squeezing the shoulder blades towards each other. And exhale to round. And imagine like you're hugging someone with your arms. Inhale, open. Opening the arms to the side, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And exhale to round the spine and hug this imaginary person. One more time. Inhale to open and expand. Exhale to round. Gently starting to come back through a neutral spine. And we're going to start walking the hands towards the front of the mat, rolling over our legs. Coming into a tabletop position, aligning the hips with our knees, and starting to walk the hands forward, moving towards our puppy pose. So you can move very slowly into it. Your forehead might be lifted off the ground. That's okay if it is. Maybe you have a block and if it feels good to bring it underneath your head. That's an option. Maybe your forehead reaches on the mat. Maybe after a few breaths, without bringing tension into the neck, you can bring the chin forward, allowing the chest to completely surrender towards the ground. If you're feeling any tension into the neck or any other part of the body in this pose, then take a step back. Readjust yourself. Listening to your body, being mindful. This is not a competition, this is not a challenge. You're here to nourish yourself. So do just that. Keeping the hands exactly where they are. Start to lift gently your torso up, rounding the spine and moving it forward. Releasing with control the thighs, the hips, the belly, and the rest of your chest down. We're going to have a wiggle of the hips from side to side. And then we're going to reach the hands onto the outside of the mat. We're going to still keep them shoulder height. We're going to come up onto our fingertips. Keeping the feet pressing down. Tuck the chin to the chest and start roll your torso up. Stopping wherever it feels enough for you and wherever you can still bring the shoulders down and back, away from the ears. And there's no pain into the lower back. So if you notice any pain, release a little bit lower. And then slowly release all the way down. One more time, inhale to lift up. Find that expansion, that opening, and exhale to release all the way back down towards the mat. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders and push the ground away, sending the hips all the way back towards the heels. Taking a moment here to remind yourself that this is can be your safe pose, so you can come down whenever you need to throughout the whole practice. When you're ready, tap the toes, lift the hips up. Coming into your first downward facing dog. Taking a few movements here, stretching through the hamstrings and any other wiggles into the hips, into the shoulders that it feels good. Feel free to add it, feel free to move through it. This is your time, your practice. And again, take any modifications, any option that feels good for you. And then coming into a place of stillness, reaching the hips high, keep pressing through your hands. Lengthening the spine, keeping the knees bent if needed. If the hamstrings feel quite tight today, that's okay to have that bend on your knees. And then we're going to lift the heels high off the ground. We're going to tuck the chin to the chest and we're going to slowly start to round our spine and move ourselves forward. All the way to the top. Then the knees are coming to lightly touch the ground. You're opening the chest, you're looking forward. And then you're sending the hips back towards the heels and up towards the sky. And again, we're going to do it 2 more times, rounding the spine as much as you can to the ceiling. Rolling yourself towards the front, lightly touching the ground with your knees, opening the heart, looking forward. Sending the hips back and up to the sky. 1 more time. Lifting the heels, rolling yourself to the front. This time you can bring the knees to touch, or maybe you're keeping them just to hover, but still find that back bend. Still open your heart, pressing the ground away. And then send the hips back and up to the sky. Come back into your downward dog. Now 1 more time, we're going to roll ourselves towards the front. This time we're arriving into a plank position. So take a moment to find your shape. And if this feels too intense, feel free to release the knees on the ground. We're pressing the floor away through our hands. We're keeping the belly button drawing towards the spine. And then we're all going to bring the knees down onto the floor. We're going to keep the tailbone tucked, leaning forward, and release down in one strong line all the way onto the mat. Inhale, find your back bend, maybe baby cobra, maybe a little bit higher into your cobra, shoulders still away from the ears, legs and glutes active. And then push the ground away, hips towards the heels and high towards the sky, downward facing dog. Take just a few breaths here. Pushing the ground away with your hands, with your arms, keeping them active. Feeling that connection to the floor, to the earth underneath you. And then again, we're lifting the heels, we're rounding the spine, making our way all into plank. Arriving here, maybe lowering the knees if needed, so you can keep your strong form. And then you can release the knees onto the ground if they weren't already. Or from here, you can lean forward and move through your Vinyasa. Chaturanga, and then coming up into your back bend. Moving all the way back up high, downward facing dog. A few deep breaths. And we're going to take 1 more of these half Vinyasas, half sun salutations. We're going to lift the heels and we're going to move forward, finding our plank 1 more time. Finding that strong engagement in our core and our abdominals. Through our hands as we're pressing the floor away. And then lean forward and we're all going to release down all the way onto the mat. Stay with me. We're going to bring the elbows underneath the shoulders, arriving into our Sphinx pose. You're opening the chest towards the front. You're keeping your glutes, your legs active. And energetically, you're reaching the hands towards the back. So they're not moving, but that's where they're going energetically, so that you can move the chest even further forward. Now gently release the chest down. Reach the arms behind your back, interlace the fingertips together. And with your next inhale, you're going to lift the chest off the ground. Opening your heart forward and finding a place where you can still breathe. And you can stay as you are, or you can lift the feet off the ground as well. Still deep breaths here. Protecting your lower spine by keeping your glutes engaged. And then gently releasing down to the ground. Hands are coming underneath the shoulders. Have a wiggle of the hips side to side. And then send the hips all the way back and up to the sky. Finding your downward dog 1 more time. This time, right leg is going to reach up to the ceiling. You're going to bend the knee and open the hip. Allowing that right knee to reach at least energetically up towards the sky. Doesn't matter if he's not there physically. But moving towards stacking that right leg on top of the left. Equal weight on both of your hands. Inhale to extend the right leg. Exhale, bring the knee towards the nose. Shoulders on top of your wrists and lightly step the foot forward, bringing it between your hands. Release the back knee down and tuck the toes. Reach the arms forward and all the way up. Now, similar to what we were doing on the ground in a seated position, we're going to open the arms wide, open the chest. And then without moving the lower body, we're reaching forward. Like if we're hugging someone, rounding the spine. Lifting up and opening the chest again. 2 more times like this. Reaching towards the front, start rounding the spine. And then open your chest. 1 more. Reaching towards the front. And moving back to open. This time as you're reaching forward, release the left hand onto the ground. Right fingertips all the way up to the sky, finding your twist. Keeping your chest open. Maybe if you have a block, it feels good, might feel good to bring it underneath your left hand. We're going to start coming onto the outside edge of the right foot, opening the hip and bringing that stretch into the outside of the leg, into the IT bend. Breathing here. And then reaching the right fingertips all the way towards the back of the mat. Bend the knee and lift the foot. If you can't get hold of it, stay here. If you do have hold of the foot, then bring it a little bit closer towards you, towards your butt cheek, so that you can bring that stretch into your quadriceps. Just 2 more breaths here. I know this can be one of the tightest areas of our body, so it can feel intense. You're not alone. With control, release the foot down and bring the right hand onto the inside of your right foot, wiggling it gently towards the outside edge of the mat. Lifting that back knee off the ground and arriving into your lizard. And you can start rocking back and forth, bringing some movement into this pose. You can stay onto your hands and you can come down momentarily onto your forearms. It's up to you. Maybe you even find the support of the blocks underneath forearms or hands. 1 more breath. And then gently start to come back up onto your hands if you were down on your forearms. Wiggle the foot back through center. Bring the back one to pivot out to the short side of the mat and open your arms wide, arriving into your warrior 2. Adjusting if you need to. Keeping an external rotation into the front thigh so the knee tucks over your toes. You're softening the shoulders and the elbows, but keeping your arms active. So you're getting this feeling of expanding in all directions. You're rooting down through the feet. You're lifting through the crown of the head and you're expanding through your hands. Opposite direction. Find your breath. And then inhale, flip the front palm, reach forward. Exhale to reverse, keeping the front knee bent, still moving out almost, so that it doesn't collapse towards the inside. Bringing that sense of spaciousness once again into the side of the torso. And then gently coming forward. With control, releasing the elbow on top of the thigh, left arm all the way above your head. Extend your side angle. Make sure you're not resting here, but there's still space, there's still engagement through the body. And then you're reaching back. Reverse warrior once again. And all the way forward. Find your extended side angle. I believe this is called the dancing warrior. 1 more time. Reverse. And come forward. Extended side angle. Now you're going to start looking down and you're going to release your hips. Lower, as lower as you can. Maybe you're still a little bit more lifted. Maybe you're lifting that right heel off the ground to give you more space. Maybe your hands are supporting you. Maybe your hands are coming onto the middle of your chest. Different options. Find what works for you. And we're going to lift ourselves up from here, coming into our wide-legged stance. I'm going to bring the big toes to point inwards slightly towards each other. We're gonna come halfway up, lengthening the spine, and exhale to forward fold. Again, 2 more times. Inhale, halfway lift. Find more space. Exhale to hinge from the hips and forward fold. One last time. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale to release. Inhale, come halfway up one last time, and we're moving all the way towards the front, framing that front foot, pivoting gently the hips, opening the heart, and exhale, step back, taking your optional vinyasa, or maybe going straight into your downward dog. It's your choice. Moving and meeting into a downward facing dog. Left leg reaches high to the sky. Bend the knee and open the hip. Same as before, we're trying to find that space here as you're reaching that knee towards the sky. Moving it in that direction, keeping equal weight through your hands. As your heel drops a little bit closer towards your butt cheek. Extend the left leg long and bring the knee in towards the nose, towards your chest. Press the floor away and lightly step the foot forward, bringing it between your hands. Release the back knee down and tuck the toes. Reach the arms forward and up. And then straight away we're opening our chest, opening the arms wide, and then reaching towards the front like we're hugging someone, rounding the spine. Moving back to open the chest. And towards the front once again. Rounding your back. One more time like this, open. And reach forward. Now as you're moving back, you're opening the chest one last time. And then as you're reaching towards the front, right hand onto the ground, left fingertips to the sky. Finding your twist. Opening your chest. Arriving here. And we're moving into that stretch in the outer hip by coming onto the outside edge of the left foot. Staying here for a couple of breaths. Before reaching the left fingertips all the way towards the back of the mat, bending the knee and grabbing hold of the foot. Bring it a little bit closer towards your butt cheek, towards you. So to bring that stretch into the hip flexor, into the quadricep. If you can't get hold of the foot, you can stay here, like before. One more breath. And with control, you're letting go of the foot, releasing it down onto the ground, and you're bringing the left hand onto the inside of the left, and lifting that back knee off the ground, arriving into your lizard. You can stay here, maybe your forearms are coming down onto the floor. Rocking back and forth. Bringing movement into this pose. Feeling that sense of release through the body. What is that you're ready to let go? What is that you can shed? We're going to come back up onto our hands and we're going to wiggle the foot towards the midline again, bringing the back parallel to the short side of the mat and lifting ourselves up, finding our warrior two. Soften your shoulders, your elbows, keep the torso stacked on top of the hips. You're rooting, you're feeling connected to the floor, to the ground, and at the same time you're lifting up through your torso, through the crown of the head. Finding your strong balance here. Inhale, flip the front palm and reach forward. Exhale to reverse, keeping the front knee bent. Bringing that sense of spaciousness to the side of the torso. Inviting that energy in. And then coming forward, releasing with control the elbow on top of the thigh and the right arm above your head. As before, you're pressing almost that thigh away. So there's still engagement through the body, you're not resting here. And then you're reversing once again. Coming forward into your side angle. Maybe looking up to the sky if it feels good, otherwise you can simply look in front of you. And then reverse. One last time, come forward, side angle. And from here, we're transitioning into our Skandasana, looking down, releasing perhaps the hands to support us, and opening a little bit more towards the long side of the mat. Finding our shape here. Keeping the spine long, the chest open as much as possible. And then we're gonna release the hands into the ground and lift ourselves up into our wide-legged stance. So both of your legs are long. You can keep a softness into the knees, of course. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Find a little bit more space and then hinge from the hips and release down. This time we're gonna reach the arms behind our back, interlace the fingertips together, and then move them all the way towards the floor in front of us, all the way above our head. Keeping the weight forward towards our toes. And breathing deeply here. And then release the hands down onto the ground. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale to move all the way towards the front, framing the left foot and stepping back through your Vinyasa. Moving with your breath. Reaching the hips high. Downward facing dog. We're going to take a couple more poses before Shavasana. We're going to bring that right knee all the way towards the right wrist, releasing the shin down, and adjusting ourselves, preparing for our pigeon pose. And you can bring a block, a blanket, some support underneath your right side. Otherwise, from here, inhale to lift and length. And exhale, you'll have two options. You can come down straight away into your sleeping pigeon, or you can stay a little bit more lifted for a back bend. If you're moving towards the back bend, then bend the back knee and grab hold of the back foot. You can start by simply bringing that heel towards your butt cheek. Again, stretching this part of the body, the hip flexor and quadricep. And you can stay here. This can be one step. Second step is to slide that foot to the toes into the elbow crease. And you can stay here. You can clasp the hands, the fingertips in front of your chest. That's another step. If your hips are very far from the ground, it really helps to not to have to focus on the balance, so have that support underneath the right side. From here, you can move even further by bringing the arms above your head, keeping the chest moving forward, and breathing here. With control, release whatever option you have. Come back through center, and we're gonna come down onto our forearms or hands or forehead. And you can add a little twist by bringing that left arm underneath the right. And then releasing the head onto the floor if possible. Taking a couple more deep breaths here. And then gently guiding both hands underneath the shoulders again, lifting yourself up. Tucking the back toes, lifting the back knee off the ground, and reaching the right leg all the way up to the sky. Give it a bit of a shake. And then release it down on the floor. Same onto the opposite side. Left knee comes towards the left side. Release the shin down. And start to adjust yourself for your pigeon. And as before, you can bring some support underneath your left side. You can come down straight into your restorative pose, or you can take a back bend first by bending the knee, grabbing hold of the foot. And then maybe you're staying here just by simply bringing the heel a little bit closer towards your butt cheek. Maybe you're sliding the toes into your elbow crease. Maybe you're clasping the hands in front of your chest. Maybe your arms are coming above your head. Once again, opening your heart. Inviting that energy in. And then with control, release whatever option you had and start to come down on the floor. And again, you can simply stay onto your forearms, hands or head, or you can find a twist as well by bringing the right arm underneath the left. And taking a few deep breaths here. Still keeping that connection, that focus into the present moment. And it's okay if your mind wanders. Don't be harsh to yourself, don't judge yourself. Just gently, kindly bring the focus back into the present moment, to your breath. And gently start to bring the hands underneath your shoulders again, lifting yourself up. And tucking the toes, lifting the knee, reach the left leg up to the sky. Give it a bit of a shake to bring the energy back into this part of the body. And then release the foot down. Bend the knees, look forward. Stepward jump is seated at the front of the mat. We're going to extend the legs towards the front and give them a bit of a shake. And we're going to find a fold. You can keep as much bend into your knees as you need. Your feet are going to be flexed, the toes reaching up. Reach the hands up towards the sky. And exhale to forward fold. You can round the spine as much as needed here. Relaxing the neck, relaxing the head wherever you are. Bending the knees as much as you need. Taking this as counterbalance for some back bends we took. And then gently lift yourself up. You're going to switch yourself forward, grabbing hold of the back of the thighs and guiding your spine down onto the mat. Bring the knees into your chest, give yourself a big squeeze. Let's finish with a happy baby, grabbing hold of the legs, the lower legs, the ankles or the outside edges of your feet. Making sure your sacrum, your lower back is flat onto the ground and guiding the knees towards your armpits. You can stay in stillness for a few moments or you can rock from side to side if it feels good. And then releasing the feet, bringing the knees back into your chest. Giving yourself the biggest of the hugs. Finding appreciation for this moment, for this practice, for your body. And when you're ready, release the legs long onto the mat. Preparing for your final pose, your Shavasana. Getting all the wiggles out of the body and taking as much space as your body needs. Bringing the feet at least as wide as the mat, the toes dropping towards the sides. Relaxing the legs, softening the belly. Relaxing the chest, keeping it open. Relaxing the shoulders, the arms. Palms facing up. Softening the face. And clenching the jaw. And arriving into this place of stillness. Just for a few moments. Allowing your body to rest. To recover. And to soak in the benefits of this practice. Feel free to stay as long as you need here. If you're ready to start coming up, start to deepen your breath. And to invite gentle movements back into the body, wiggling the toes, the fingers, working the head from side to side. And reaching the arms all the way above your head, pointing the toes forward around this long big stretch through the body. And then guide the knees into your chest. And roll over towards your right side. Taking a moment here to honor your practice and to honor your effort. And then pushing yourself all the way up. Coming into a seated position, eyes still closed. Guiding the hands into prayer at your heart center. And bowing the head in gratitude towards your heart, your inner teacher. Namaste.